Democracy can die in darkness, in dark rooms with no transparency and accountability. We're shining light on this darkness here. We're going to take our state back. We're not standing aside in this hour.
Well, that is the state senator in Pennsylvania who led that recent hearing on 2020 election fraud. Well, this morning he had his Twitter account suspended. Go figure. Immediately, President Trump fires a shot at Twitter, tweeting this quest to, quote, silence the truth only happens in communist countries. Twitter then reinstated the account, claiming it was all a big mistake. This happens on a day Senator and Army Colonel Mastriano declared the legislature in Pennsylvania will try to back its responsibility in selecting its electors, as the U.S. Constitution clearly spells out. And as Jenna Ellis just broke news on, it looks like that is going to happen. This is the state legislature's ability to do so. State legislatures are responsible for deciding how presidential electors are picked in their respective states. Because Republicans control the House and Senate in Pennsylvania, Senator Mastriano believes it can be done through a joint resolution to suspend state law that would not need a governor's signature. If he is successful, Biden would lose 20 Pennsylvania electors and President Trump would be awarded them. So what are the chances of this? We now know breaking news that the House and Senate are going to take this up. Please welcome to the program the courageous retired Army Colonel and now state senator from Pennsylvania, the man leading the charge on behalf of the president and the people of his state. Please welcome Doug Mastriano to the program. Senator, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me on, Grant. Crazy day. I'm glad Jenna broke that news, so I'm excited we finally got the Senate resolution pushed out just moments ago. And it's co-sponsored with some, heavy hitters in the Senate. Michelle Brooks, Marius Scavello, Dave Arnold, and also Judy Ward co-sponsored it. So we have momentum. The Constitution is on our side. For too long, the General Assembly, we act like we're not co-equals in this government, but we are. And it's time we exercise that ability, especially in light of the findings that we had in the hearings 2 days ago.
All right. So, Senator, so you're saying the Pennsylvania Senate pushed through this resolution. The House has to take up the same resolution, a similar one, then you match them. When will the House do that?
So both the House and Senate introduced the legislation today, and there'll be a day or two we're asking for the rest of the Republicans to sign on board. And then once enough get on, hopefully we could roll with that Monday. So obviously, you rightly said it's time to contact your representatives and senators to get on board if they're not.
Absolutely. Okay, so one of the problems now in Pennsylvania is this election has already been certified. We know this court appeals judge threw out the stay in that. So technically, it's been certified. I guess the battle here will be taking back the certification, even though it's already been done. How do you square that here, Senator?
So part of that is the Senate resolution, because we're saying, look, Governor Wolf didn't look into any allegations and blew them off. Secretary of State Bookvar blew off all the allegations of shenanigans. Our Attorney General, declared a winner before one vote was counted. And so the whole process has been corrupted. Nobody cares to see if there was shenanigans, cheating, fraud, disenfranchisement. And so we're going to rise up and say, look, constitutionally, we have the final say on who the electors are. You certified an election that can't be certified because you didn't look into the allegations of cheating. So, that was a turning point in Gettysburg Wednesday when, of course, for the first time to the world, the case was made from eyewitnesses, and it's so compelling, and that anyone would stand aside, irregardless of party, and just get on board with party politics because they think their guy won is unacceptable. So we're going to reassert our authority here and try to do the right thing here and correct this entire disaster that's happened over this election cycle.
Yeah. Well, Senator, I'll tell you what, thank you for this fight. I mean, this is what happens when you get an Army colonel in the state Senate. And so we get things done. And I appreciate you, Senator Doug Mastriano. Thank you. Keep up the fight. Keep us posted as well.
Thank you. God bless. We got to win this fight. Everything's at stake. And truth and facts are on our side.
God bless you, sir.
For more, we go live to a key member of the president's legal team, Jenna Ellis. Thank you for joining us. What's the latest with the Trump campaign? And thank you so much. And the Trump campaign, and in particular in Pennsylvania, where more than 20 Pennsylvania state representatives recently backed calls disputing the state's election results. Can you give us the latest here?
Yeah, so we're very excited that the Pennsylvania legislature, led by Doug Mastriano and others, there are almost 30 legislators now that are co-signers of this resolution that will use their Article 2, Section 1.2 authority to make sure that they don't go along with an irredeemably corrupted election. And so this is exactly why our founders put that provision in Article 2. And to follow up on what Jack was just reporting, it's really important to note that there are multiple vehicles to make sure that either the Supreme Court directs the state legislature to fulfill their duty, or the state legislatures can do that themselves. And that's why it's so incredibly important that the Pennsylvania legislature allowed us that hearing last week, and now they are moving forward with this resolution that they are going to not certify those election results, and they are going to make sure to name their delegates according to the constitutional process to make sure that none of their constituents in Pennsylvania are disenfranchised through a corrupt election. We're hopeful that as Pennsylvania leads the way, then other states, including Arizona, Michigan, Nevada, others in Georgia, will also recognize how corrupt this election was, and also take back their delegates to make sure that we, the people, genuinely get to select and prefer our president. And we're confident that when every legal vote is counted, of course, Donald Trump won, and this is the constitutional process to remedy that corrupted election.
Right, certainly.
Right,
and,
certainly.
You tweeted earlier this week that it's on to the Supreme Court. Would you still say you're working toward a path to victory?
Absolutely. And again, there are multiple vehicles and ways to get to the Supreme Court. That may be through the Third Circuit, that may be through other means. And certainly the emphasis on the state legislatures is incredibly important, because they are the entity that is vested with constitutional authority to make sure that the delegates who actually go to the Electoral College, and that's the method by which we choose our American president, that they do that by a means that is not corrupted, and they make sure as the direct representatives for their state and for their people that they do that in a method that's according to the Constitution and don't just certify a corrupt election result.
Right. And speaking of integrity, switching to Arizona, I understand your team has set up a public hearing on election integrity in Phoenix for Monday. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and what you're seeking to accomplish?
Yes, so this is a few days behind Pennsylvania, but basically we expect to mirror very similarly what we accomplished in Pennsylvania last week by putting forth witnesses and testimony and expert testimony in Arizona about what happened to their election and why this is irredeemably compromised in Arizona as well. And we're hopeful that after that hearing, Arizona will also mirror Pennsylvania by taking back their delegates and making sure that they don't certify a corrupt process. So it's really encouraging, I think, that as President Trump has continued to back the election integrity process to make sure that as the President of the United States, he protects and preserves our constitutional republic, that state legislators are taking notice, and they're looking at all of the evidence and the witnesses that we're bringing forth. We've really been denied an evidentiary hearing anywhere in the court process. That's really unfortunate. That should never happen in the judicial branch. And so we're taking this directly to legislators who want to hear this, who want to hear from witnesses, see our evidence. And so we're very excited to put that forward on Monday in Arizona.
Is there anything else that you would like to add?
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. And I think that there's just so much misinformation between all of the mainstream media outlets. I'm really grateful to OAN for actually giving me the opportunity to come on and explain what's going on, explain the constitutional process, explain why these state legislators are actually fulfilling their constitutional duty. So I would just tell the American people, don't listen to the mainstream media, don't listen to these pundits, don't listen to the Twitterati who are out there trying to just pretend that this is all over, or they're giving misinformation, or they're giving you bad advice on the Constitution. Make sure that you pay attention to what Team Trump is putting out, to what the president is saying, and make sure that you're following up on that, because there is so much misinformation out there. We have a really great opportunity right now to protect and preserve our U.S. Constitution. And again, we're so grateful to these state legislators for stepping up and understanding their constitutional responsibility.
All right, Jenna Ellis, a key member of the president's legal team. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.